Hi folks, here we are in Orlando, Florida, and this is the world's largest car collection. It's a whole mall that's been converted into different rooms. There's like this room is a French room, there's an English one, Russian one, there's American cars, they're all different categories. There's movie cars, just an amazing collection. You're really gonna like this video. There's motorcycles, microcars, scooters. I don't know, I can't think of everything there is, but we're gonna start walking and show you around. Well, this part we're gonna have to talk over because there's music just about all through this place. So we're gonna start up in the front here. We got all kinds of funky themed vehicles here. There's one from Thunderbird's Go. You can see the poster there. Look at that, dated 67 on the poster. It's kind of a funky car. Here's a tribute van for the Mystery Machine, Scooby-Doo. And we got a Volkswagen here, all covered up in flowers and stuff, Volkswagen bus. All kinds of unusual stuff here, lots of imported cars, just about everything. Here's a Hudson. This is like the Doc Hudson from the Cars movie. It's Doc Hudson there, and got Lightning McQueen next to it. Here's Lightning McQueen for you guys. This one is an art car featuring a British F1 driver, Lewis Hamilton. Kind of an unusual car there. Then we got this big car here. It's really wide, really long. Got elephants on the end. It's featured in a Sean Connery movie, The League of the Extraordinary Gentlemen. That car is really wide. I don't know how you'd move it down the road because it's so wide. Here we got a James Dean themed car called the Giant. Got James Dean on the front. Then we got Marilyn Monroe to the left of it here on a Cadillac. There's the Marilyn Monroe caddy. Then we have a Elvis car here. This is kind of unusual, Elvis themed. Now these aren't from the time period of these people, but these are cars that have been themed by custom car designers more recently. Got a trike with a taxi theme on it. Got a few Volkswagens and signage, hubcaps, and all kinds of stuff across the wall there. Kind of unusual Volkswagen there. And we got a Plymouth back there, light blue 49 Plymouth. Got a Jeep over here. Willie's Jeep. There's another Volkswagen here with a roof rack on it. I guess that's probably for hunting, or not sure on that one. This one looks like a Baja Bug there. You'll see a lot of Beetles in this museum here, or collection. There's a retractable, Ford retractable. Notice the hard top that folds down into the trunk. It's got Elvis behind the wheel. And we got a Duesenberg here. Dual cowl Phaeton. And I believe that might be a later production one. And we got a Mercury 57 Mercury pace car here. Indianapolis 500 pace car. It's a convertible as well. You can read that sign. You can pause on that if you want to read it there. Pretty snazzy looking Mercury. Here's another Beetle here. And that one's got like a Roman chariot on the back, basically a trailer that tows behind it. Got a little Nash here with a Continental kit on the back. And a couple Chevy pickups here. You got the newer and the older style that newer one's kind of made to look like this one. Bring back the style. That's an advanced design, that black one. Here's an older Chevy pickup. You don't see too many of those around because they're full of wood, so they're hard to restore. The cab's all framed in wood. And we've got a Ford Roadster here. Hot rodded one. We got a Model T Speedster. And another Model T bucket here, hot rod. And from there we're going to jump into the other area. That's a replica curved dash holes, I think. And we got a Laurel and Hardy Model T here. We got Laurel and Hardy on the side. Notice all the brass fire extinguishers on the wall there too. Here's a 24 Packard sedan here. That's a nice little Packard. Look at all the fire extinguishers, quite a collection of them. Notice the disc wheels on the Packard. And we got a couple more earlier cars. This one's a replica of a 1905 Clement. Got the wire wheels on it. And then we got a 1916 Model T Roadster here. Notice the brass radiator, brass headlights. Got a 31 Chevy Coupe right there, the reddish one. Over here we have a what they're calling a Bonnie and Clyde. It's kind of a tribute car, and as you know, Bonnie and Clyde had a Ford V8 like a 33 or 4. This is a Model A, so it's kind of somebody's tribute on it. A couple more replica cars. One of these is called a Surrey Mobile. Welcome to the 30s is the Bonnie and Clyde picture. So this one's a 1930 Chevy two-door sedan. Got all kinds of barbershop stuff in the corner there. Got a whole setup of that. Even the rotating spinning sign there, or spinning light on the post that would hang outside a barbershop. This one, not positive, but I think maybe a Studebaker. It's a big series, maybe a Studebaker President. It's got an S on the hubcap, and looks like a straight 8 engine. So I believe that's a big series Studebaker. Missing the emblem off the front. Pretty nicely restored on that one. Then in here we got all kinds of boat engines. And there's some boats in here as well, but look at all the outboard motors. All restored, polished aluminum, painted tanks. All different brands of them. And all kinds of boat memorabilia and advertising on the wall here. You can see some of the some of the brands there. There's a Champion, that's a common brand on the old outboards. You can see quite a collection of them there. Some of them are mounted on boards with oil cans and stuff. It's one in an original style crate. That's how they would have been shipped to you. Quite a collection of them there. All nicely displayed. There's some more motors and boats on this side. Nice little wooden boat on a trailer there. Got a pirate behind the wheel. Some fish on the walls. Pretty cool collection right there. Got a bunch of scale model ships and boats here as well. Ocean liners, cruise ship, look at that one. That thing's like probably 6 or 8 feet long. Big scale model of a cruise ship. And here we have, this is a Studebaker made into a Tucker to use in the movie apparently. Not an original Tucker, based off of a Studebaker. And we got the Green Hornet car here. That's kind of cool right there. 66 Chrysler Imperial for the Green Hornet movie. Screen used. Says on the sign. Here's a Plymouth. This one they're saying was in the Christine movie. This one also says screen used. So I'm not sure what part of the movie that was in, but you could probably look up that information. Here's another mystery machine here. Scooby van. Look at the interior, that's pretty wild. Green and orange inside. And the rest of this room is Dukes of Hazzard stuff. You got the General Lee. We got Daisy's Jeep. Now this General Lee looks like kind of a patina car. It's got some wear and aging in the paint. So that must be one they're trying to keep original. There's that one. You can see the roll bar in there. And we got Daisy's Jeep there, Dixie. And we got a Matador police car from the Dukes TV show. It's kind of an iconic TV show for car people. That one was screen used on that police car. And we're going to jump over here. We got a Chevy Woody wagon right here. Notice the headlights are a little later style. Those are for like a 34 or 5 Chevy truck. This one's a couple years older. See all the cars in the back there. I don't know when they use those, but they're cut away into like diner booths. See a Ford over there, a DeSoto or a Chrysler up closer. This is kind of looking down the hallway. So this place is huge. It's a whole shopping mall that's been converted. Right here's the longest car in the world. It's 100 feet long. You can see all the signatures that people sign it on the hood there. A bunch of different signatures, but looks like 3 axles up front. There's some more in the center, and then there's some at the back. And this sucker's long. Said it took 75 passengers would fit in there. There's 4 axles in the middle to keep the center up, otherwise it'd probably bow to the ground in the center. Just keeps going and going. And it looks like we got what, 4 or 5 axles in the back. 5 axles, I guess. We got a putting green right there, or a golf course. So then we got a swimming pool, and we got a helicopter pad all on the tail end of it. You can see there's all kinds of stuff down that aisle, all kinds of stuff in these rooms, so we're going to walk through them all. There's all kinds of themed rooms. I believe there's 20 different themed rooms or more. There's about 2,000 vehicles here, supposedly $200 million worth. We got some Duesenberg stuff in here. Got his name on the plate. Dezer is the last name of the guy that owns this collection. This one here is I think a 27 Duesenberg. There's another Duesenberg there with the boat tail. All kinds of paintings and stuff. Look at the old jukebox on the wall there. Different artwork and stuff. And we got a miniature Duesenberg here built off a golf cart. From there we're going to jump into this room. This is the Israel room. So there's all kinds of interesting stuff in here. This is all a collection of Moshe Levy from Israel. He was a war hero. I think that's a Henry J there, or an Allstate, one of the two. Got a 1960 Sabra. Matter of fact, quite a few of the other vehicles in this room are Sabras. Now I don't know any history on them, but maybe somebody could comment on the video and give us some history on them. I think they're made in Israel. Got a Seaberg trash can and Seaberg jukebox here on the wall. There's a Studebaker Lark. And then, like I said, the rest of these will be Sabras. There's a little station wagon one. 2-door wagon. Kind of interesting little vehicles. Got a sportier looking one there, the red one, this one too. They almost look like British cars, but kind of interesting. I don't know that I've seen Too many of these around. Now this room is the French room. It says France up top. Lots of Citroens in here. Look at that one, stretched out woody wagon Citroen. Then we got a Renault here, this kind of a turquoise colored one. All kinds of stuff on the walls, Tour de France stuff. Another Citroen. A couple more of them here. Got a couple of those. Those are pretty unusual. This red one is a Panhard. You won't see very many of those around. That's kind of a wild looking car. Then we got a blue Renault back there. There you go, blue Renault. More Citroens. This one's called a Citroen Hamberton, 1984. Looks like a speedster racing car. Then we got a 75 Citroen 2CV, the white and black one there. And this red one is an 82 Citroen Lomax. Kind of interesting. Paris, through that door there will be Italy. But we're in the French room right now. Looks like a couple more older Citroens up here. This series of them has a good style to them. They look like kind of a smaller American car almost. That one had Model A wheels on it. That's kind of funky. Kind of looks like a 33 or 4 Ford in the front to me, or a Graham. Here's a funky little one here. A couple little. That one, that red one was a 58 Victoria. This blue one here is a Lomax. Those are really unusual. Look at the front suspension. I think the motor's way out in the front there. This red one here is a 49 Renault. Little roadster deal on that. Now this one is a Volkswagen Golf, and this was owned by Kate Middleton before she married up to the prince. Tells a little history about it there. I guess she really stepped up on that one. And we got some more unusual cars here, like these here. Maybe you can tell us in the video. I don't know all the different makes of these foreign cars. See Planet Euro on that side. We'll jump in there in a minute. This yellow one says it's a Lato. It's kind of an unusual 60s or 70s looking little car. Well, you can see there's a whole traffic jam of them here. This place has no shortage of cars. Rows and rows of them, overtaking the whole mall. You can see this is kind of the center hub of the mall. You see all the way down that hall is all the different storefronts that are now turned into themed collections, and also just lines and lines of cars. Here's the Sweden and Holland area. We're going to jump over. Here we got Planet Euro. We're going to go in here. Looks like we got some German stuff here, some Volkswagens. Again, there's 2,000 cars in this place. It's huge. So there's a little red, I think that one was a Fiat, but there's quite a few Volkswagens in here, or maybe this one here is a Fiat probably. No, that one's an Alfa Romero, that last one. The other one was a Fiat. So that was a 91 Alfa Romero. This one's a Fiat wagon here. We got a gray 1950 Fiat Coupe. It's a Topolino. Notice it's kind of a 3-window coupe with suicide doors, kind of unusual. Doors open up backwards. There's a few of them in a row there. welcome to Russia through that room. There's some more Volkswagens in here. We'll go to that Russian room in a minute. There's all kinds of, there's some information on the place there. There's a picture out front. We'll show you out front later. Little collection of models there. A bunch more Volkswagen Beetles. No shortage of Beetles here. Notice the roof rack on that one there. More Beetles over here. There's one with a split rear window there, an older one. Now the red one there is a Porsche, 64 Porsche it says. This one's a Zundaf. Kind of unusual there. Don't know that I've seen one of those before. There's a emblem on the front. Pretty unusual. Even got 2 rows of seats in there. The front door too, kind of like a BMW Isetta has. There's another Carmen Ghia there, convertible. And we'll jump over this way here. It's kind of an interesting one there. And this blue one, that's an Audi, the black one. The blue one here is an IFA, 1948. And we got an Opel there, 1960 Opel. Got a Volkswagen bus back in there. There's a Volkswagen bus. Here's a BMW. Right here with the front door. That's kind of a stretched out one. It's another one here. Kind of like Steve Urkel mobiles. We got the notorious BIG Mercedes here. There he is, painted on the hood. There's all kinds of money and stuff painted on it. There's a signage if you want to read that. You can pause on there. Made in Germany it says, or originated in Germany. Even got some bullet holes in the side. Got some Mercedes over here, Volkswagens. This is German area. You can see the German flag back there. Volkswagen convertible there, another Mercedes. Now back in the corner there, you get a 1959 Go-Go mobile, that red one. It's kind of an unusual little car. You don't see those around very often. There's another funky little car here. Little sedan. And we got another few more Beetles here around the corner. Now we've jumped into the Russian room here. This one is a 1967 Zaz. Never heard of one of those, but there it is. And we got some Russian scooters here, or mopeds, whatever you want to call them. Scooters, I call them, I guess. Got a nesting doll on the wall there, and a Russian nesting doll. And we'll jump over this side. Bunch of artwork and stuff on the walls. See the sign there if you want. It's a 1967 Gaz M21 Volga. That white and blue one. There's a Moskvich 1982. And this one on the end is kind of interesting. It's a Zim limousine, a 1954 Zim. Almost looks like a big American car, like a Pontiac or something. But that's a Russian car there. Limousine. There's your emblem. Got a stag on the emblem there. From there we're going to jump into the England room here. Got a 47 Rolls Royce there. There's your signage on that. Nice looking Rolls. Pan around the room here a little bit. Start over on the left side here. Got a Mini Cooper. Got another Rolls here. A bluish one. And we've got a Rolls convertible here. That's 1991, the white one. The other one was a 74, the one before it. 1980 Morris Mini right there. That's kind of out here on the edge of the hallway. Kind of stepped out of the room here for a minute. Got a Volkswagen there that's all got flowers all over it. But we'll head back into the other side of the room here. Here's a 1954 Lloyd. Top speed of 46 miles an hour. That's got suicide doors on it too. There's some of the information on it. Not exactly a powerhouse. You'd have a hard time going down the interstate in that one. 97 Bentley here, convertible. Black one. Got the Beatles all over the wall. Mr. Bean right there. And we got an 87 Bentley right here, red one. So a lot of these have signage, and I'm trying to show you a few of them so you can pause on there if you want to read them. This place is gigantic, so it's hard to pause on everything to show you, but do the best we can. There's a 52 MGTD, red one there. Kind of iconic British car. Not sure what the little green roadster is. Maybe somebody on the video can tell us, give us comments. Any of these things that we don't ID, you can comment and let us know what they are, because we don't know them all. There's a lot of things here that we've never seen before. This is a 1986 Postman van for the Royal Mail. Notice the hard tires too, they're not pneumatic. So that'd be a rough ride in that thing. Got a little Morris Phaeton here. That's a good looking Morris, an older one. Morris 8, it says in there. Kind of a cool little two-door Phaeton body style. Got another Rolls Royce here, the John Lennon on the wall. He probably had one like that back in the day. Another little red roadster there. Over here we have a Morgan. This gold one is a Morgan. Good looking sporty car. Those are pretty popular. Then we have a MG here. This one's a replica of a 34 MG. Right there. And we'll jump into the next room here. We'll get another Bentley here. Black and silver Bentley. Notice the fender skirts on there. 56 Bentley. Hooper. S1 it says. Big trunk on that thing too. Looks like we got the Queen and all the princesses there on the wall. Another Rolls there. Jump over here. This one's called an Arrow. It's kind of unusual. 1932 Arrow. It says something about Czech Republic on that sticker. I'm not sure on that car. Maybe that's where it was shipped from. I don't know. Or maybe it is from Czech Republic. I don't know. You be the expert. We'll get a mini Woody here. Woody wagon mini. Kind of cool. So we're just trying to give you a rough idea what some of these are, but we're not gonna name them all, that's for sure. Here's a red MG. A lot of times we get people, hey, you missed that one back there. Well, yeah. If you're looking at thousands of cars, it would take you years to show them all. Here's a 38 Rolls Touring Limousine right there. It's pretty cool. Almost looks stainless steel, doesn't it? But I think it's just painted that color there. And you can see the rows of them up and down the aisles here. Quite a collection of them. Looks like a Morris Minor there. This is kind of unusual. It's a custom car. It looks like a 57 Chevy hood, kind of, but it's on a more modern car. I don't know what it's built off of. Maybe a Thunderbird or something, I'm not sure. Or a Camaro, actually, I think. Looks like a 59 in the back, maybe. Kind of funky. Mixed up stuff on that one. Anyway, we got a bunch of scooters here. There's a Lambretta on the bottom there on the right. I think there's quite a few Lambrettas. I got some Whizzards and stuff up on the second shelf. Those are American made. Whizzard did bike, you could take a bicycle, get a Whizzard kit and put it on to give it a motorized, but they did make, like that one there is a factory-made Whizzer. This one's on a later bike frame, an aluminum bike frame. Kind of interesting. So you could either get a kit or buy, you know, Whizzer made the whole bike as well on some of them. There's a red and white one there is an Allstate Comet. I think they may be sold by Sears, I'm not sure on that. There's all kinds of them. Lambretta on the wall. This is a 1930s bicycle with a Smith motor wheel there. It's a kit you could get on to power your bicycle so you don't have to pedal so much. You can see there's pallet racking with them all up in there. That's kind of an unusual one there. You can see the name on the tank, the two-seater moped or scooter. Rows and rows of them here. Bicycles up on top. Lots of scooters. I don't think I've ever seen a scooter collection this quite this large. It's huge. You can see some of the names on the tanks. There's all kinds of different brands of them. Some two-seaters. This one's an NSU auto roller, 1963 on that with a twin seat on it. Got a Roadmaster bike there with a gas engine on the back there. 1930s Roadmaster. You can see there's just rows and rows of them. Unbelievable collection of these scooters. Because this is not the only room of them either. There's a whole nother room of Vespa stuff. So if you wonder why you're not seeing a Vespa in this room, we're going to have a whole room of those in a few minutes here. All kinds of them. Whole giant room of them. Look at them all. Pan around there, show you, give you an idea how big the room is. There's another Allstate there, the red one. Some of them are original, but a lot of them are restored. All in good condition. Got some Cushmans up there I just pointed to. I'll jump over to that aisle. Look at the little scooter there. All kinds of them there. Now these are mostly Cushmans on this rack here. There's a nice Cushman right there. Some newer models of them there. And you can see more Cushmans up top here. All kinds of Cushmans on that racking. And from there we're going to jump to the next room. Now this is a Microcar room. It's all kinds of stuff here. This one's called a Nevco Gizmo. It's an electric car, 2001. You see the signage there? Little three-wheel car. Looks like a one-seater. And those are kind of a scale model up there. Those ones up on the shelving right there. I'm not sure. They're about a half scale. They're almost like a little go-kart. Don't know much about those. The red one here is called a HMV. It's a three-wheel electric car, 1982. I think it's a fiberglass body on that. Kind of a funky door on the side there. Here's a King Midget. Right there, you can see the emblem. And that one looks highly customized, like somebody's done a lot of modifications to it. Got some more funky cars. Look at that little station wagon with a long nose and one wheel in the front. Kind of wild, that red one there. All kinds of different brands of them here. You name it, they got it. Here's a Messerschmitt. Those are pretty wild. They're based off of an airplane fuselage, I think. Got a flip-up door with a glass top on it. I don't know what that, plastic of some sort, that molded top. This one's an Auto Bianchi, if that's how you pronounce it. Kind of a funky little car. So they have these tags on, 1963 right there. This one has like an aluminum body, polished aluminum body. It's a 1957. Kind of funky there. Look at the little grill It's a Biz Cutter Zapatilla. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but approximately that. Here's another one of those small scale ones right there. Kind of funky there. It says Bambi on it. Kind of an unusual small scale car. Look at that guy. He looks like he's had a rough night there. Here's a Coronet. Now that's not a Dodge Coronet, but it's called a Coronet. Notice the gas cap right in the front center too. So some of these cars are gas, some are electric. It's a 1960 Berkeley there. It's kind of unusual. T60. So any of those signs you want to pause on, you can do that. Don't get mad at me for jumping off them, because all you gotta do is press the pause button. 1956 Solito. That's a wild looking thing, isn't it? It's like a covered truck with a convertible front on the top. Freeways, HMVs. These are electric again, like the one we showed you earlier. Well, not that one. The black one there was gas. So maybe they made both, because I think that one on the other side was electric. So maybe you can tell us. Maybe they did both styles, gas and electric. This red and black one's kind of funky, like a bubble car. Got Betty Boop on the side. This one's a 1962 Henkel Trojan. Betty Boop all over it. There's your sign on it. There's one that's a taxi. That's a Trojan as well. That's a BMW Isetta right here, 1957. 1967 on that little green car there. So there's all kinds of them. Look at that one, kind of looks like a 37 Ford up there. There's another 1967. It's kind of a funky little car. Look at the little grills on them too in the front. These are funny. I don't know how good they were going down the road, but in Europe they don't have to be as good as they do in America, because we have these big wide open roads where you do 78 miles an hour. But there's another Trojan and another Isetta. These little electric cars are kind of funky. Commuter cars. Anyway, that's that room there. Quite a collection of them. Now we're back onto another scooter room. Now these are mostly Vespas in here. I think you'll see a few that aren't. Look at the little Vespa. I think that's a two-stroke car. A friend of ours has one like that. So anyway, what I was getting at is a lot of these European cars and stuff aren't the greatest thing, you know, for a wide open road, but for the small roads and the low speed limits they have over there, they work good for that, because they get good mileage and stuff. These are called an Ape. Little three-wheel deals. This one's a Vespa. Boy, I'd hate to get going and turn a corner sharp on those. You'd tip them right over. There's all kinds of Vespa stuff in here, and some other brands as well, but I think 90% Vespa in this room, I believe. Here's the other side of that Vespa car. Like I said, that's not a powerhouse. That just barely get out of its own way, but they, you know, for those small areas over there, they worked, I guess. All kinds of Vespas. Look at them all. My dad had bought one of these Vespas when I was a teenager. I remember driving around quite a bit. They're pretty peppy, and they got small tires, so they're kind of dangerous, really. You know, like a motorcycle has much bigger tire to less tippy. And we got some Volkswagen here, Volkswagen car carrier. Here's another BMW Isetta. Notice the unusual pickup box on the back of that. Seems like it would get hot. It's up on top of the motor's in the back there. And we got a 63 Volkswagen bus here, turned into an ambulance. Split window bus there. And we're just going to walk down a few of those, but we jump over here. We got some more movie cars. This one here is a Mad Max. It's based off a '74 Falcon. There's all your information there. I believe the Falcon is a Ford variant made in Australia, but I'm not positive on that. And then we got some Fast and the Furious cars here. See the Mad Max poster? There's the Fast and Furious stuff. That's what all these are here. This one looks like a Grand National Buick. There's some information on it. And it's been wrecked. Well, I've seen some serious damage. Even the rear wheel's bent there. A lot of side damage on that one. So those are all Fast and Furious stuff there. You can see out in the rest of the mall here, they got all kinds of stuff. They got bowling alleys, movie theaters. This is a whole attraction. And it's at the Dezerland Park, they call it. And this is what we're looking at. You can see there's all kinds of cars out there I'm pointing at. And little crashing cars over there, 2 kids riding them. But anyway, here's another movie car here. Boy, that little piton on the front would be dangerous driving around with that. We'll jump and see these here in a minute. We're going to jump into this movie room first here. Or movie TV room. Cars of the Stars, they call it. So this is located in Orlando, 5250 International Drive, right in the main area with all the businesses in Orlando. But it's a big attraction. Here's the Back to the Future car. DeLorean. Here's a Benjamin Button Dodge taxi here. Anyway, it's a big attraction. They got all kinds of stuff for kids, and you can go through this museum part of it, and you know, it's Orlando, so it's a attraction city basically. And this is another one of them. This guy bought the whole mall and did what he wanted to do. There's a RoboCop police car here. RoboCop 3. Kind of cool there. Another later RoboCop there. And we got a Starsky and Hutch Torino here. Gran Torino. Got the Starsky and Hutch paint scheme on that one. All nicely restored from the looks of it. Now this one's a Hudson here. I'm not sure. It's got a foreign plate and got Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, so that must have been in the movie. It's not the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car, but possibly this car was in the movie. I don't remember. I've seen that movie several times when I was a kid, but I don't really remember anymore. That was decades ago. Got Herbie the Love Bug here. Couple Volkswagens. There's information on that one. And we got another one here that's got some damage and been painted over. So this was a screen used vehicle here. Used in some of the stunts, I guess. And we got a Michael Jackson Soul Train. That's kind of funky. It's a car that looks like a train with like a rocket back end on it. Got the Ghostbusters iconic 59 Caddy ambulance here. Everybody remembers that one from the movie. There it is, Ghostbusters. All lit up with neon just like in the movie. Pretty cool car. It's a real beast too, a real long car. Here's an Inspector Gadget car here. Look at, there he is right there. Remember watching him when I was a kid. They redid him later, I think. But I watched the original style Inspector Gadget. Looks like it's got rocket power. Here's something I definitely remember as a kid. This is the A-Team van right there, the GMC van. But we'll skip around here. We'll show you that in a minute. This is the Grease Lightning car here. There it is. 48 Ford Coupe. Turned into Grease Lightning. You can see through the clear hood. Dual carbs on the engine there. Pretty funky. Started with a Ford Coupe though. And they even had one of the diner booths there from Grease the movie. So here's the one from A-Team right there. GMC van. Got Mr. T painted on the side. Right there. That was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. Here's the Monkey Mobile, based off of Pontiac. Look at the wide open exhaust coming out right behind the tire there. There's some information on that one. 67 GTO. That's what they started with. Highly customized. And we got some cars from the Saint. Looks like a Volvo there from the Saint. 63 Volvo, yeah. There's some information on that one. And then we got a Hummer here. Looks like that's from Star Wars movie. Now here is a Amphicar, 1967 Amphicar here. These are made to go in the water, land or water. So you could drive this along on the land, then plop right into the water and start going like a boat. It's an amphibious car, made in Germany. Got some more 007 stuff here from the James Bond movies, I guess, these here. I think that's what quite a few of these here are. Again, if I misidentify something, you can correct me and let us know in the video. Tell us a minute mark and what the thing is. This one's from the Munsters. That's pretty wild. Look at all the carbs. Looks like 10 carburetors on there. Header's coming right out. There he is. Right from the Munsters. Pretty wild. Looks like it's based off a Model T or something. Here's another one that kind of looks like a casket. Pretty cool 60s looking hot rod deal. So anyway, you can kind of see they got lots of cool stuff in this room. Jump over on this side here. We got a Lotus Esprit. I think those are all the James Bond cars. And we're going to get up in here. Look at there's Mini-Me right there. And we got Dick Tracy. We got James Dean here. There's his Porsche right there. I think that's the Porsche that he was last seen driving, I believe, one like that. Dick Tracy car here. See, it looks like Madonna sitting in the seat of it. There's the Magnum PI Ferrari right there. That's pretty cool. Not sure what this one is here. What's it say? Mach. Oh, is it some Speed Racer or something? One of those shows, kids show. And here's the Miami Vice Ferrari right there. Pretty cool looking Ferrari. That'd be a fun one to take for a cruise. Well, we got some Lawnmower Man. We got Mr. Bean's little car here. Look at that one, got wrecked. Maybe Mr. Bean drove into something. It's even got that funky lock on the side there. That is a funny show. There he is riding on the top of it. I've watched it a few times and just about bust out laughing. There's one from Spider-Man right there. And look at the big hole in the back of it. Looks like a Ford van that something took a chomp out of right there. It's got the spider web all over the place. Got a police motorcycle here from the Spider-Man movie. Actual one used. Oh no, this one's from Mel Gibson rode that. Lethal Weapon, I think. It's not the Spider-Man one. That one was an actual used in the TV too, or movie. Mel Gibson. Here's a Knight Rider kit right here. That was another show I watched a lot as a kid. Really cool. Fun show for kids. The car that could drive itself, had its own brain basically. Now it's getting so a lot of cars are just about like that. They drive themselves and stuff. Never would have thought that would happen as a kid. So here's some Indiana Jones vehicles. Looks like a power wagon there. Motorcycle with a sidecar on it. All from the Indiana Jones movie. Look at that machine gun on there. It's got a spark plug, so for the movie it would probably shoot out little flames out of there for the filming of the movie. It wouldn't shoot actual bullets. Shanghai Nights right here. Jackie Chan. A couple cars from that movie. Or a car and a motorcycle, I should say. And we got Mission Impossible. We got the Terminator car back there. Look at that one, got destroyed on Mission Impossible right there. That's a classic one, the Terminator 3 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at all the bullet holes in that Cadillac hearse. You remember that scene where he pulled the casket out and had guns everywhere. Total Recall. Here's another kit car here. Knight Rider. Different style one there. Well, those are Mission Impossible. Couple more motorcycles there. Now we've jumped out of that room. We're out in the hall here. This one's from The Great Race. I think that movie was done back in the 60s. Kind of a funky car. Professor Fate. Got his rocket there too. I think he was trying to create havoc all through the movie. Oh, and this one's the Fantasy Island. Look at that. Remember that TV show too? And this looks like an original. It's got worn paint on it and stuff. Looks like original paint. It's a Willys Jeep with a Surrey top on it. That's from Fantasy Island right there. Now we'll jump over here to the other side of the hall. Got some Chrysleys. Got a Chrysler station wagon, Chrysler convertible. There's a station wagon right there. We bought one of these. I remember my dad bought one in South Dakota, brought it out to New Hampshire, and that little wagon fit right in the back of his full-size pickup truck. He had a Dodge pickup, and that went right in it. There's a Morris Minor back there, the blue one. Looks like we got a Plymouth here, 4678, somewhere in there. And a 49 Plymouth here with the ripple bumpers on it. A couple Austin taxis over there. There's another, this one I believe is a Studebaker. There's the front end of that Plymouth, got a Fulton visor on it. So maybe that's a Packard Studebaker, one of the last Packards there. Anyway, here's a Willys Jeep, four-wheel drive station wagon right there. And we got a Rolls Royce on the other side. A lot of foreign ones on the other side and American ones on this side. Got a Nash Metropolitan. Here's a Nash Healy. Now we're getting to some import ones on this side up the next few here. Show some of the body tag and stuff on that. You can see there's all kinds of foreign ones on that side. Now we're going to get to some, well, one foreign one here, this one here. And then the next one is a Nash Metropolitan. So here again, if you recognize some of those like that one that I don't know, let us know what they are. All kinds of different vehicles. And here's the Nash Metropolitan. Little compact car. Looks like the side window's falling down in there. Must have come off the track. Here's a customized 50s custom here. Look at the bullet hubcaps. Got dual spotlights, fancy paint job. That's a Ford that's been customized, 57 Ford. There's a Dodge, two-door Dodge here with the Fulton visor, flames on the front. And we got some little dune buggies here. Look like based off of Volkswagen probably, fiberglass bodies. Those are kind of cool right there. Hot Rod it says on the front, and this one says VW. This one's got like Model A wheels there on it. Kind of funky. Got a Porsche here and a BMW. And a Ferrari. That's pretty nice right there. And we got airplanes and all kinds of stuff hanging from the ceilings. But as you can see, this place is gigantic. Here again, we're in that center spider part of the place, and you can see different legs going out every which way. Here's another wild custom car here. Did some heavy duty work to that one. That's pretty funky. You got a Batman room back in there. We're going to go back in there in a little bit. I think that was a Kaiser Darren, that green one back in there. Look at this one here. Tells all about the build. Any of that stuff you can pause on there if you want to. Jesse James, driver, it says on there. So these are all kind of custom cars. This is kind of some unusual stuff. Look at the King Midget back in there. The white one, that's a King Midget. There's a Subaru. Looks like it's, first I thought it was an AMC Pacer, but it looks like a Volkswagen back on a Subaru front. There's another one. Look at that one back there. Full Throttle, it says on it. I don't know if that's from the Full Throttle Saloon in South Dakota. Maybe, I'm not sure. Here's Thor's Chariot, 62 Econoline pickup. Look at that engine sitting there too. That's pretty cool. Volkswagen engine. Here's the Econoline pickup. Got a wheelie bar, rear engine. With all that weight at the back, that one would do wheelies easy. We got all kinds of hot rods in here. This is some sort of hot rod room. First we got a Volkswagen there, Mercedes there. Got a Cadillac here. Look at the old pinball machine. So this is a pace car, 76th anniversary, the Indianapolis 500 Cadillac right there. Got some Camaro, Mustang, different muscle cars back in here. Firebird. There's a Corvette. That's another pace car right there. There's a lowrider. Notice the seats in there and the lights. The seats look like a skeleton with a rib cage that you sit into. That's pretty wild. A lot of effort gone into that. And we got a little Chevy here. Two-door post. Got moon caps on it, louvered hood. 55 Chevy. Now this room here is all Mopar stuff. It's set up like an old dealership. There's an Imperial. Just kind of an interesting arrangement. Another Imperial here. That one's a four-door hardtop. Notice the details to that. I mean, that was a top-notch car back then. You got the pull handles. That was kind of a newer thing at the time, rather than push buttons. Look at the swing-out seat. And the paneling in the top. The Continental or a spare tire on the trunk lid. Another Chrysler here. Good-looking little Chrysler. Another Imperial there. Quite a few Chryslers and Imperials across the back. This one come from Idaho, so that's probably a good solid Western car. Imagine this guy gets them all over the country. Or all over the world for that matter, with all these import cars. Probably has to bring those from everywhere else. Another Imperial, another Chrysler there. There's a couple more in the back there. All Mopar stuff in this room. Kind of interesting designs on the walls too, give you a vintage vibe. Another Imperial here. He went big on the Chrysler Imperials here, didn't he? Bought up quite a slew of them. That one's a two-door hardtop. This one looks like a two-door hardtop as well over there to the right, the white one. Anyway, that's pretty much all of them in there in the Chrysler room. Show you this one more time in the center here. Notice the trim there, the stainless steel roof insert. Just a really impressive car. Nice interior. Look at the padded steering wheel center. And the funky taillights on this as well. Pretty wild. Now we're going to jump into the Great Gatsby room. This is like a 1930s based kind of gangster cars basically. Got a Cadillac here. Look at the old phones on the wall. This one's a 39 Cadillac convertible sedan right there. Looks like the driver's waiting for you. I'll load you in there. Then we get a Chrysler here. Nice little Chrysler. That one's a four-door sedan. Looks good with the skirts. Real air streaming, I guess. It's not an airflow, but it's Airstream styling. Here's a Buick 8-cylinder. I like the detail on those. Got the dual side mounts, the little parking lights out on the fenders. That one was a convertible sedan as well. Pretty cool car. Now here is an actual airflow. That's the Chrysler airflow. And then we got this one here is an Oldsmobile. There's your airflow. That blue one was an Oldsmobile. We're going to jump over here. We got a 1930 Buick Phaeton there. This is one of my favorites so far. It's a green Cadillac LaSalle. That's a model of Cadillac, a little bit lesser than a Cadillac. Look at the details on that. That one's got a 1976 prize winner. That's been restored a long time. Got the nice wire wheels, dual side mounts, convertible coupe. Look at the wind wing windows there. Got a trunk on the back, rumble seat. Good looking convertible right there, or cabriolet. Catch another look at the Buick here. Got the driving lights on it. Now in the back corner it looks like a 39 Dodge. 39 Dodge sedan right there. I got another room there. It looks like Art Deco cars. They're going to open that up at some point from the looks of it. There's another Dodge here. It looks like a 36. And we got a Hupmobile Skylark, a 1940. Now, that's pretty unusual. They bought the cord stampings or whatever to make the bodies. There it is there. The older Cords use that style body. Then they sold the rights to it, and a little later Hupmobile made them. There's another Buick here. Notice the parking lights on the fenders like the other one. That one's a convertible. Dual side mounts, good looking car. Got running lights and good styling on that one. We've got a big Cadillac limousine here. 1941 Cadillac limo. Series 62 right there. Wow, this one's impressive. This is a 1935 Cadillac with a V12. That's quite a car right there. That's a convertible sedan. Notice all the accessories on it too. The fender guides, dual horns out there, driving lights, all that stuff. With the V12 emblem. So there's another one back in there. That's a Hollywood Grandma 1940, that blue one. And this is the Cord. And this is what I was telling you about the Cord body. First Cord, you know, Auburn Cord Duesenberg, they made this car called the Cord. It's called the Coffin Nose Cord, and they used that body. And then they sold the rights later on, and Graham and Hupmobile also used that same body. Now we're into the Batman room here. All kinds of Batman stuff. 1966 Batcycle. That's from the old Adam West and Burt Ward right there. Remember when I was a kid, we went to an antique show and Adam West was signing autographs. I never forget the jawline. You know, when he takes that mask off, he's still got that same real square jawline. You see it popping out from the mask in the Batman series. Pretty recognizable though. But there's all kinds of Batmobiles and different. Here's the original style Batmobile and some of the later ones. Look at the Bat boat back there. Here's one of the later ones. '80s or '90s, I don't remember when that was. There's Catwoman up top. There's another of the old style Batmobile. I think those were based off of Thunderbird, if I remember right. But they've been highly modified, customized. There's the Batcycle and the Batmobile. There's the Batcycle. There's the Batboat. There's one from the Dark Knight right there. Pretty cool stuff. Look at the big fins on that one at the back. It looks like ribs down the side, all lit up inside there. 1995. Looks like they have rocket-powered engines in them. This one's basically, it looks like a rocket engine right down the center of it. And the exhaust comes out the back. Pretty wild, huh? And here's a police car that was used in the Dark Knight. So there's the front of the Batman room there. And we got a Chrysler taxi, looks like. This is called Main Street USA. It's got Cuba. I think this room here, here's the Chrysler taxi. I think this is a lot of the cars and stuff in this room look like are from Cuba or Cuban inspired, some of the ones in here. But this one's a 49 Chrysler Woody, Town and Country. Not necessarily on the Woody so much, but these other cars are things like you'd see in Cuba and stuff. There's a Plymouth, 49 Plymouth Fire Chief. This one shows, you can see on the wall there, all the people coming across the water in that advanced design Chevy from Cuba, looks like. Another 49 Plymouth. And another one there. This one's had the top cut off it. There's that one. Now in the back here we've got some more impressive cars. We've got a Packard and a Lincoln and a Cadillac. Those are some big heavy 50s cars. Here's another Plymouth here. Looks like it's maybe a 1950. We've got a Fulton visor on it. Here's another one here. Now this one's had the top cut off as well. I don't think that's an original convertible. Somebody's modified them. Same with this one here. Kind of cool though. And the Chevy here looks like it's had a lot of heavy modification. Notice that step to get up into the rumble seat. Boy, you could fit a lot of passengers. You get that rumble seat, and it's based off of 4-door, so you got 3 rows of seats there. Put a lot of people in that one. Hopefully they beefed up the frame when they cut the roof off. There's another Chevy here with Woody siding on it. Here's a 49 Plymouth. Now that looks like a real convertible. You can see the studs sticking up on the top of the windshield to buckle down your top when you fold it up. Here's a Willys Jeepster, 1949. We've got a 49 DeSoto convertible there. And we've got a Mercury over here, custom Merc, chop top, lead sled, louvered hood. Got the dual spotlights on it. Good looking Mercury. Cool jukebox back there too. Here's the other side of that Chevy. And another Plymouth here. Little black 4-door sedan. I'm going to jump up here to these Woody wagons across the front. It's a good looking wagon there, DeSoto. Look at the DeSoto mascot, hood ornament there. Got his whole head on there. That's a good looking DeSoto. And we got a Buick. Buick Woody wagon right there. This is kind of unusual. Looks like a subway car. See, it's got the graffiti and stuff on it. Got a jukebox, Coke button in there, all kinds of signage and stuff. Got the Titanic on the wall even. I'm going to show you this one more time. This is a Cubans Find Freedom in America. Just show you a little more detail on that. See right there, they're coming across the water. There's the floats on the side. That's a pretty wild rig there. So that's kind of showing you how they come across the water. There's Key West up on the top there. Southwest or southernmost point in the United States. Anyway, that's that room. Now we're welcome to New York City. That's what the subway car was, I guess, a New York City deal. It's kind of hard because you go from one to the next. There's a checker taxi cab. Got a Willys Jeep here with a full cab on it. 4-wheel drive one. Gonna jump in here. I think this is all Studebakers from the looks of it. Big giant Studebaker room here. Bullet nose Studes. Gotta love the styling on those bullet nose. That one's got a Fulton visor on it. The blue one has a Fulton visor on it too. That bullet nose is pretty recognizable. You see that coming down the road, you know it's Studebaker. Well, here's one Plymouth in here, 49 Plymouth. I think everything, oh no, there's a Packard back there. The yellow one's a Packard. The rest of them are all Studebaker. Lots of bullet nose. Look at it. I mean, that's one of the biggest collection of bullet noses I've seen in one place. Here's a Studebaker pickup here. 60s or late 50s, 60s one. I guess it's 60s probably. There's a Studebaker there. And we'll jump out into the hallway here again. This one's an Ashley, a 1962 Ashley, that red one. And we got a 55 Thunderbird there. Another room there that's not open, full of pinball machines. Looks like it's not open right now, though. Here's a Porsche here. Porsche Roadster. And we got some sort of army room coming up here, military room. This is kind of wild. Looks like it's like a part of an airplane. They turned it into a vehicle. Here's something I used to see all the time as a kid, a Jeep. U.S. mail Jeep. You don't see them around very much anymore, that style of them anyway. This thing's funky. Looks like they started with an airplane, put it on a truck chassis or something. So this is the military room. So here again, there's about 20 themed rooms. And they got all kinds of different themes going on here. There's all kinds of different, and these aren't all American. There's different types of vehicles. Look at this thing. It's like a flat wagon with a foil drive chassis on the bottom. It's kind of wild. Got a gun turret on the back. But anyway, there's ones from all over the world here. Not just American stuff. There's a BSA motorcycle there, military one, and a Triumph next to it. And we got some Volkswagens back in there. Looks like some Dodge Power Wagons and a Willys Jeep, or a Kaiser Jeep maybe. Right there. Another Power Wagon. A Land Rover. All military stuff. There's another one that's kind of funky, like a big 6-wheel drive. I don't know if that's General Motors or who made that one. Look at that armored car too with the guns on top. This one's based off of like a go-kart right there, a little Jeep. All kinds of stuff. Motorcycles, scooters, amphibious mobiles, all kinds of Jeeps. Here's some staff cars. Eisenhower says on the side of that one. U.S. Army. I think that one is a Chevy. This one here is a Ford. This one looks like a Packard. Right there. Puerto Rico on the plate. That one's off a Volkswagen, looks like. Kind of a truck style back on it though, like a pickup bed on it. There's the side of the Packard. There's some more Jeeps up here. This is a later model one. Got the jack on the hood there. I had one of those jacks, we call them a Widowmaker, that white jack up there, because I got hit right in the head with the thing. It popped right out of something and I never used it again. Look at the gun sticking out of the windshield of that one. So here's a flat hood Jeep, older one. Willys Jeep, a couple of them there. So there's all different years, different countries of manufacture. There's an amphibious mobile there. There's some information on it. 1944, Utah Beach, World War II. I don't think I would have wanted to ride up on the beach with that thing and people shooting all down on you. Didn't sound like much fun. We appreciate everybody that went through that. There's not too many World War II veterans left. Look at this vehicle here, the Hillbilly Mobile. Based off a Model A. Got a fiberglass fender with a big chunk out of it there. You can see some stuff about that. Oh, the guy that did Chick-fil-A, the founder, he had this. He had a bunch of collection of vehicles and he wanted one of those to look like the Hillbillies, so that's one that he made up to ride around his place. Thunderbird's in here, all the later generation Thunderbirds. Pretty cool little room here. The one got the hard top, most of them are the convertible tops on them. Just kind of panning around the room here, show you some more of the airplanes and stuff up in the rafters. You can check them all out there. Lots of different stuff there. Here's a Cadillac right here on the end. Nice black Caddy. And we're going to jump back in this room. Got some more Willys Jeeps here. 57 on the tan one. It's a 57 Jeep right there. Look at all the signage and magazine ads and stuff on the walls. Here's another Studebaker. Must not have been able to fit that one in the other Studebaker room. Here's a Fraser. Don't see those around too much. 48 Fraser right there. But there's all kinds of stuff, different makes in here. Look at the Edsel. That's a station wagon too, and a four-door hardtop. Two Edsels right there. Looks like a Henry J there probably. Got a Wurlitzer jukebox. Got a Caddy limo. 1989. Oh, it's a Trump limo right there. That was used by Donald Trump, our now president. Pretty cool. Piece of history there. Look at the Seaberg jukebox. And we got a Plymouth, a 54 Plymouth. Looks like it had the roof cut off, made into a convertible. Oldsmobile, 58 Olds. Here's a Cadillac. Here's a 57 Chevy, four-door hardtop. Here's a Packard convertible. We'll jump to this side though. Look at the nice poly gas, Tokheim clock face gas pump. Here's another Dodge here. 49 Dodge. That one's got the fender guide, well, on the one side anyway. Fender marker. Another pinball machine. Look at this one here, that's pretty wild. It's a Dodge. Oh, I don't know if that's a sedan. Yeah, a four-door sedan. Here's another Dodge here, 1960. Red one. And we've got some Corvettes across here. Just kind of pan around the room. Show this other side here. There's a Mercury, 57 Merc. Here's a DeSoto. Here's that Packard we were telling you about. It says 59 on the windshield, but that is not a 59. It's an older one. This one's a 59 though. We've got some convertibles here. That Mercury's a cool looking car. I had a 57 Mercury two-door sedan, I believe it was. And we got a Buick convertible, 54. And we got a Chevy. Oh no, this is an Oldsmobile, I think. Olds Fastback. Yep, got the sad face, Olds grill. Look at the grease lightning front end of a car. Here's a little Ford Victoria, two-door hardtop. Kind of a bumblebee color. Yellow and black. Doesn't, yeah, that's my cousin there. He's saying it doesn't have the stripe across the top like a Crown Vic would have. This one's a 55. You notice the round parking lights. The 56 has a much larger die-cast, more rectangular looking housing. Got a Kawasaki motorcycle in behind there. I don't know what this one is. I guess it's hooked to the Kawasaki, that sidecar deal. Got quite a few different motorcycles in here. Some of them are import, some of them are American. Here's a Harley aisle over here. A bunch of Harley Davidsons over this way. Older style one there. A couple older ones. Chopper. Look at that scooter, that's kind of funky. You got a Cushman there too, the black one. Well, these are quite a few Cushmans here, I guess. All lined up. Must have run out of room in the other section. There's another two-seater there on the left, the red one. Pretty cool. All kinds of motorcycles back in here. Got some Indian motorcycles in the corner here. Got a bunch of them there. There's an older one there. Looks like an Indian chief. So there's some older, some newer. All kinds of signage and stuff on the walls. Gonna pan around the room, show you what there is here. You name it, they got it. It's a Honda right there. CB350, I believe. I had one of those Hondas like that, CB350. That one might be, I don't know if that's a 350 or not, it might be. All kinds of stuff. Look at all the different history of motorcycles on the walls too by the years. Got it all across the back there. Some more Harley there. Sportster there. Quite a collection of them. Here again, if you spot any of these that we don't mention, and you know what they are, there's a Triumph there, the green one. You can comment on the video, tell us a minute mark, and what it is. ID it. Look at the police Harley here. That's a pretty cool bike right there. Another Harley, a couple more Harleys there. And a miniature one there. That's probably off a carnival ride or something. Pretty cool. Missing the seat, I guess. And we got a few more over here. That one looks like all, I don't know if that's polished stainless steel or what it is. It looks all like stainless steel kind of. And we got a few more bikes there. There's some trikes. Look at the tricycle laying down in there. That's, I believe, a reproduction tricycle. I have an original one like that with original paint even. Pretty hard to find the original ones, but they have reproduced them now, unfortunately. Anyway, that's the motorcycle room. You can see them all there. And we're going to pan down. These are the ones we showed earlier there. But this is the center of the area. As we said, this is Orlando. This is Orlando Auto Museum, part of the Desert Park, or Dezerland Park they call it. And it's kind of a theme park deal, but they got this big car museum in here, 2,000 cars. And we're going to jump to the outside here. There's a Chrysler, and about a $200 million collection, it says. Here's a Dodge Coronet. You can see on the sign there they advertise that fact. That is the front of the building. Pretty impressive looking on the front. Even more impressive at night. They light it all up. It's pretty cool. And this place has late hours. It's open. You'd have to check the hours exactly, but open from like noon till 9 or something like that, sometimes later even. So it's kind of unusual for a car museum, but they are open late. And there's the beautiful Florida view right there. Well, we're going to do a little bonus footage here. We're out back of the Orlando Car Museum. You can see this is the guy's name, Dezer there. And these are some, look at the Miami sheriff there, police. He's even got his, looked like his old truck that he must have towed stuff with here. It's got the Desert collection on there. That must have been the stuff they use this Dodge pickup to tow a lot of stuff in here. Probably got the General Lee and the Batmobile and stuff on there. But anyway, there's quite a few Cadillacs and stuff here, things that got put on the back burner. Maybe these were projects that didn't get finished or what. 59 Caddy there. That's a limo too. We got a Buick. Here's another Cadillac here. Looks like a 60 probably. We got a Lincoln. Got a rusty Chevrolet. That's just like the song. Well, that is a rusty one too. Maybe these came with stuff, or I don't know what the reason for having these are. This almost looks like an extra front end to the world's longest car they had in there. I'm not sure. We got a couple more on a trailer here. They painted these gold and silver all over. Got a Corvair and a Mustang. We're going to check out a few more around the corner here. Yeah, this is quite a storage unit he's got out back here. There's lots of them out here. Just checking out a few to show you. I think a lot of these cars are like, there's like a Puerto Rican influence or so. They got, look at that one, had 4,500 on it. Somebody bought it. Or he bought it for that maybe. Look at the rust in this one. Get some salt air into that one. Chevy here. Got a 51 Ford sedan. I don't know what these are over in there. There's a Chrysler here, the blue one. And the reddish with a white top is a Cadillac. And then we got an old ice cream truck. That's a Chevy. It's got M&M treats on the back, but that's an old ice cream truck. This one here too is from a sale of some sort. Had a price on it. And we got a Dodge back in there. There's a bunch of those in the museum, like a 49 and 50 Dodge. The other one's a Chevy Coupe. Well, they got a big Ford fire truck. This is kind of yard art. This one's from Swanton, Vermont. You can see the Swanton Fire Department. There's Swanton Ford. There's got a few things just sitting around like that. There's a BMW over in there. You can look through this window here, see some of the stuff that's inside. That mall is just full of stuff. We didn't hit it all. There's all kinds of stuff in there we didn't really see because it was around the edges. You know, just lots of. You can see in there's a Volkswagen. Quite a few Volkswagen. It's all Volkswagen, I guess. Carmen Ghia. All different Volkswagens in there. And we got a Plymouth here. This one's got a sign advertising their museum there. Right there. And we got an Oldsmobile here. Notice how rusty these get. You know, you're down in Orlando, you get rust from the salt air and stuff down here. These maybe came off the coast or something, rust up in the rain gutters. These are sitting out here going to seed. So who knows what they'll do with these. This one was $5,500. I don't know if they had a sale or if you bought these for that, but these are pretty scabby, some of these. Look at the old rusty pink Cadillac. I'm guessing these were on display somewhere and maybe he sold them, or I don't really know. Maybe somebody in the video knows more about it, can tell us. Even got a boat back here. Big boat. Got another Plymouth hardtop there, looks like, next to the Cadillac. And we got a few more over in here. We got a Ford Granada back in there. This is the kind of stuff we're normally looking at, relics and projects and stuff. There's a Chrysler back in there, so I thought you guys might enjoy a little bonus footage. We're doing a little detective work out back here. Dodge there, and a Chrysler. So I hope you enjoyed the video, like I said earlier, and we'll catch you on the next round.